Good morning. It's raining in St. Petersburg, and we're heading to a monastery to pay our respects to Father John of Kronshtadt, Saint Father John of Kronshtadt, whose relics are located in that monastery. He was a very famous priest in Russia in early 20th century, late 19th, early 20th century, and his relics are now at rest at that particular monastery, which is not too far from our hotel. It's 2 stops on subway and then a bit of a walk. So let's go and pay our respects to Saint Father John of Kronshtadt. So that's the map of St. Petersburg subway system. We are right here. It's 2 lines intersecting here, green and blue, line 2 and line 3. So we need to get to the blue line, Nevsky Prospect, and get to Petrogradskaya station, literally 2 stops. Gonna touch our transit card. Tells us that we have 520 rubles remaining. As I mentioned before, the cost of one ride is 60 rubles, which is about 60 euro cents, and it's good for the entire subway system. And ahead of us we see a fan of the local hockey team. It's called SKA, which is Sportivny Klub Army or Central Army Club. That's his jacket right there. And notice that hardly anyone is walking. On the escalator in St. Petersburg subway. In Moscow you see people walking all the time, at least in the downward direction. Here no one is walking, just about no one. People in St. Petersburg don't seem to be in as big of a rush as people in the great city of Moscow. We have very limited time in this excellent city of St. Petersburg, so yes, we do walk, and also it is a good opportunity to burn some calories, considering the great Russian food which is available in abundance. So if you want to burn some calories, that's an excellent way of doing it, especially on your way up. So this is Gostinny Dvor metro station. We need to go to Nevsky Prospect, so we just need to make a transfer to the blue line, line number 2, which is straight ahead. here, Nevsky Prospect, need to go to Petrogradskaya, and here's our train. Okay, we have arrived to Petrogradskaya station. The monastery is located not too far from here, and there is only one exit here, so we're gonna head out, and then there's a bit of a walk, and we'll be at the monastery probably within the next 15 to 20 minutes. Just got off the escalator. Again, a very long escalator, so it was a good walk. A good exercise. Now we're heading out to the city of St. Petersburg, to the surface. Petrogradskaya subway station. Hold the doors, always, because they do swing and may want a person behind you. We see a flower shop to our right, a whole lot of Russian people who are in a rush, so they're Russian people. Okay, very funny. So we just need to figure out which way to go, and like I said, the monastery should be within about 15 to 20 minute walking distance, and we'll be on our way once we find our bearings here. So that's the subway station where we came out of, Petrogradskaya, and we figured out which way to go. Once you get out, you make a right turn, and then yeah, that's pretty much straight and make a right, make a left, straight and left, and then you'd be there. It says 1 kilometer to go, so 1 kilometer to the monastery from Petrogradskaya subway station. So we're still heading towards the monastery, and look at that, a bit of a sun came out, which is kind of cool. When the sun is out, St. Petersburg looks even better than when the sun is not present. And here's a nutcracker advertisement. Yeah, Nutcracker is a famous Russian ballet. Definitely would be a great event to attend if you have time in St. Petersburg or elsewhere in Russia. The quintessential Russian ballet, the Nutcracker. We are on Kamenno-Ostrovsky Prospect for about 400 meters after making a right turn after exiting the subway. We reached the embankment of Karpovka River, and this is where we make a left turn and start heading down that way. And it's about 600 more meters to the monastery from here. So we made a left turn there onto this embankment, and the monastery is right there. So just head down here for a few hundred meters. There is a crosswalk, and it's probably easier to keep walking down this way, but either way the monastery is straight up, and yeah, it's a very brief walk from the subway, about 10 minutes or so. One of numerous St. Petersburg canals. It's called Venice of the North precisely for this reason, because there are so many canals. So again, we came from there. Subway is just to that intersection and to the right for about 400 meters. Petrozavodskaya station, and the monastery is right there. We came from down there, and here's the monastery. This is actually Saint John female monastery, and the address is Набережная реки Карповки, дом 45, or embankment of Karpovka River, house 45. The relics of Saint John of Kronshtadt are located here, so we're gonna come and pay our respects to Saint John. The entrance is apparently straight up. You see people crossing themselves before entering and after exiting. Yes, there it is, St. John's female monastery. And here we have a cross. Holy water. There's a church shop straight up. Looks like a food store. And that's the icon of Saint John. The icon of Saint John is right here. So once we got where we got, there was a note saying filming prohibited. So hopefully through the prayers of Saint John, God will forgive us for filming as much as we did up to that note, and we didn't film anything past it. But the relics of Saint John are in a sealed coffin, a very well-made marble coffin, and it's in a very small room, if you will. There's an altar there, so church services take place in that particular location, and there were people standing around praying. You are certainly welcome to venerate the marble coffin of Saint John, and it's a very solemn atmosphere there. Saint John was a very, very prominent priest back in the day, probably the most famous Russian priest, and thousands upon thousands of people came to his services. He was a wonder worker. He would heal people through his prayers, and he left us numerous writings about Christ, about Christianity, and it was definitely very good to come and pay our respects to Saint John in this lovely monastery today.